Congratulations on the win.
Here we are again. I feel great, Amy. I feel really good. Overwhelmed with joy. Absolutely.
Are you excited for people to write nice things about you online now?
Yeah. Let's see what happens. I probably still won't read it if I'm being completely honest. But I am happy to read the messages and stuff from my family when I grab my phone, for sure.
So it seemed like a pretty violent fight, and I know that fights are violent anyways, but that was particularly violent, with the broken nose, it seemed like. Did you notice that in the beginning, and were you kind of, did that give you a little bit more energy when you saw that, or?
I mean, when I saw his nose start leaking, I don't think that it gave me more energy, but it just kind of proved to me that I was doing the right things. And my coaches kept telling me, just like, pick them apart, chop the tree down, Although I did let a couple of wild shots off in the first round. Part of me can't help myself. Like, sometimes I just swing really big. But I kept going back to just what my coaches were telling me as far as just keep picking shots. So, yeah, I saw his nose bleeding, but it was kind of more confirmation that I was doing the right thing.
And the knee in the second, can you kind of walk us through the decision to do that at that point of the fight rather than in the first?
So, first round, I was really kind of more feeling him out, although I don't want to say feeling him out, but like reading him, right? Like, first round, everybody comes out, that's when we're both fresh. So I was analyzing him a bit, just how he was moving. I saw that a couple of punches had landed, but I figured, like, in the second round that he was going to come with more punches. I knew that he was going to probably clean up his punches. The whole time I'm thinking probably what his corner is telling him to do, what adjustments they're telling him to make. And one of them was I thought that they were going to tell him to throw more straight punches. So when I started to see him throw more straight punches, I saw that he was leaning a lot on his front knee, on his front leg. And I tried to throw it a little bit earlier in the second round. I tried to, throw a really hard one, but I missed. And I had to calm myself down and tell myself, wait until he throws the jab to throw the side kick. And that's exactly what I did, and that's the result that happened.
Was there anything about him that surprised you?
No, nothing.
And when do you want to get back in there?
I feel good. I've had a great training camp. I can train some more. One more this year would be cool.
Do you have an opponent in mind?
Whoever, anybody. I know that people say that all the time, but, you know what? Here's one thing. I know, and my goal now is to go on a streak. I know that I've had ups and I've had downs and all of these things, but I'm back home. And I now see what training the way that I train and how I've trained this camp, I see the results that it can produce. So I'm confident that I'm going to have more of a streak. So I know that whatever it is that the UFC gives me, within the next 1 or 2 fights, I need to be in the top 15. I need to earn my way there, obviously. But guys like Paul Craig, he's where he is right now. He's worked his way there. But I feel that I can do the same thing to Paul Craig again. And this is but I have to now prove it, right? I have to go in there and I have to fight again. But where he is now, I belong up there. I know I do. And so now it's just about me doing the work so I can show the matchmakers or whoever else that makes these fights happen and makes these rankings happen, all that stuff. I need to do what I need to do. So whoever they give me that's going to allow me to show them that I belong there, then so be it. But that's where I'm headed. I belong up there. I do.
Does this win feel heavier?
What does that mean?
Like, does it have a way more importance on you with everything you've gone through? Is this win more important than, say, maybe even your first win?
I don't want to say heavier. It doesn't feel heavier. It just feels like it feels relieving to know that all of the days and hours and everything that I put myself through this camp, and that my coaches put me through this camp, and finally not taking any days off of training or not looking for any excuses to ease up on myself, and like having tremendous coaches that are always just telling me like, man, just go for it, like stop holding back, just go for it. And that, like, the encouragement, like having my team back, having my coaching team back, John Wood, Lorenzo, Preston, like, my original coaches, like we all sat down and we all had this talk, like, we know where I was going wrong in the past, and now we've all kind of agreed to like hold each other accountable as a unit, and we all have the same vision of where we want to go as a unit. And so, like, it's not so much a heavy, like, it doesn't feel heavy. It just feels like this is what's supposed to happen when we work together and when we have the right game plan, So, like, I'm excited, but I know that there's going to be many more fights and there's going to be harder fights. And this isn't something that I get to go and just relax and rest. I'm happy, but I'm more motivated. I'm ready to get to the top. I really am.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You mentioned game plan. What was the game plan for him coming in?
Focus. I told you this. The last interview when I was up here, I told you, man, my focus has been to focus, and that was the game plan. It was to focus, to see, to see everything that he was throwing, to see what his feet were doing, to see everything, to just be locked in, to lock into the target in front of me and do what I do and defeat him and win. And so, like, it's not like we actually had much of a strategy, we kind of saw tendencies that this guy had and all these things, but to be honest, like, he didn't really show many of the tendencies, but the things that we were focusing on as far as like what I should be doing, because I was focusing on just like what was in front of me, the coaches, everything they called out, level change, low kick, all these, it was all there. And that was because I was tuned into them and I was tuned into what was in front of me.
To be fair, you were putting it on him, so he probably didn't have a chance to show any of his tendencies.
Yeah, that's another thing too, like I knew that when I walked into that cage, one thing that I was telling myself was like, I'm here. Like, I'm here. I'm not anywhere else. I'm not after the fight. I'm not before this. Like, I'm here. It's me and you. And I never took my eyes off of him. And it's like, we had to talk about this before, my coaches and I. It's like, like, I'm now becoming a man that faces confrontation instead of running from it, or instead of trying to distract myself from it. It's like, if I step into that cage, or even if I'm out on the street, whatever, it's like, as soon as it presents itself, I'm here. And that's the person who shows up when I'm ready. What you guys saw tonight is I was ready for everything. Didn't care what it was. Didn't care if I was getting choked out, whatever. I was ready for everything tonight.
And I think it kind of showed. I think when you look at the performance you did tonight as opposed to some of the other ones, I think sometimes, I would never call you a slow starter, but sometimes it feels like in some of the past fights, you maybe didn't get right off from the get-go, but it looked like tonight, like you said, you went straight at him. There was no hesitation at all. Was that in the forefront of your mind that you wanted to make sure that you were first and that you wanted to?
Yeah, absolutely. Because if not him, then it's me. Like, if I don't go first, then he's gonna go first, and I can't take any chances in there with guys in the UFC. Doesn't matter who it is. If they're in the UFC, that means they're a great fighter. That means that they got some power, especially at my weight class. So why not be first? Why not be there and ready for everything? Like, this is my life. It's not just fighting. Like, just like right now, he's about to go in the hospital. Same thing could have happened to me, but I was ready. I saw it, So it's like, be first.
And with that, and you talked about the training and having, how good the training was going into this. I think when you really started strong as well, there was a point where you actually kind of pulled yourself back a little bit. You slowed down a little bit. And I thought that showed a lot of growth, in the sense of, in the past we might have seen you maybe gas out your arms a little bit, but it looked like you were aware of your body and you're aware of your mindset, that once you're going, that you were finding luck, but that you also had the mindset to slow down as well.
Yeah. It's, a lot of the times it's like we can fall into the emotions of everything, and with the pressure and all this stuff, it's like rushing, get it done. I saw that I had rocked him a couple of times, and it's like, I don't want to rush, man. I'm here, like that's what I was thinking. Like I'm here for the whole thing. Like I don't need to, like. I'm not a child, like this, like I'm a man at work. This is my life. This is my everything. I cannot afford to make any mistakes. Now, if I were, down 2 rounds and, in a crap position, you better believe I'm going to just dump everything I got, and hope for the best. But I realized that I was I was already up 1 round. I realized that I was dominant. I realized that he was completely shut down in the first round, and that in the second he was going to probably press it a little bit more. So yeah, it's just about being aware, man. It's just I'm trying to have better control of myself so that I can take this far, man. Like, I do have hopes of being a champion. I would love to be a champion. But the most important thing is that I come in here and I get the job done, like regardless, and I'm safe and I win. If I have to keep winning until finally I become a champion, cool. I'm in no rush, I'm not like I'm gonna be the champion. No, it'll happen. But like, I'm here to acknowledge the step, every step. I'm here for every step. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself.
And last thing with that, I guess, when you have a performance like this, when you have your coaches that are like, just let your hands go, it's going to work out, and then you have a performance like this, is it easy, or is this one of those things you hope to sort of internalize, to take forward, that you can believe in yourself more when you have these performances? Because I thought it was great when you talked earlier in the week about the fears and things that people have when you go in there. But when you let your hands go and you see like what you did tonight, is that the kind of thing that you're like, it helps you to start believing in what everything that these coaches are telling you?
Yeah, I mean, I always believe what my coaches tell me. That's why they're my coaches. I choose these guys for a reason. Like, they're my guys because they're my guys. The coaches are not. They're my guys. I trust them. I believe everything they tell me. I think that, moving forward, I'm going to continue to believe them, whatever they tell me. As far as the self-belief, that's just a whole different thing. Like, I guess it really depends on, the environment, the circumstance, the opponent. Like, you know what I mean? The mind works in so many different ways. Like, I try to think about fights that I've won and try to take those old memories and try to bring them to the current situations, and sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes it's really hard. So I'll always believe in my coaches. And that's why I have them there. And they're there to remind me of certain things when I can't necessarily see it. They're there to remind me it's there, now just go do the job. So
congrats on the victory, man. It was a great performance.
Thank you.